What's up, everybody? Sunday Sessions, episode 47. It's the Father's Day edition. Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. Shout out to my dad. Dude's an OG. Taught me so much about life and business and people and relationships and street smarts, just everything I needed to know to grow up to be the person I am today. So, super excited to be here. I go live almost every Sunday, and the purpose of these lives is to provide insight and value to you as e-commerce business owners or aspiring e-commerce business owners. So I'm here to be of value and of maximum service. Any questions you have, ask away. I'll be here 20, 30 minutes today, and we'll get right into it. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. What do you got going on today? If you're a dad, put a fire emoji in the chat. Shout out to all you dads out there showing up and being accountable, right? Because it's one thing to be a dad. Anybody can pop out a kid, but it's another thing to be an active dad. It's a big difference there. What's up? What's up? So as far as Amazon sales, there's just a question. Sales are a little slow. It's very typical this time of year. June, July, August, typically slowest time of the year, but it also depends on what type of products you're selling. But for everyday wholesale, consumable products, grocery, health and beauty, home and kitchen, this will typically be the slowest time of the year, especially July and the beginning of August. Now, the reason why it's the slowest time of the year is because kids are out of school, people are traveling. So they're just not shopping on Amazon as much. But it's cool because right now you need to be planning for your Q4. You should be already requesting deals and special catalogs from your wholesalers, distributors, vendors for Q4 discounts, right? We're placing orders for Halloween candy, Thanksgiving products, holiday products. We already placed a lot of those orders, and the orders that we haven't placed in the next couple of weeks, we will be placing them. Yeah, so EsellersRI comes with three main resources. Who asked that? That was Mr. Boog. It comes with three main resources. Resource number one is the step-by-step guided course content. This is the framework, right? This is where we train you the same exact way I train my team. Nobody gets employed at my company until they go through EsellersRI, right? It's like the deciding factor of if they're going to cut it or not. The second resource is live weekly coaching for the first 4 months inside the community. These are private calls that happen on Monday nights, and they're super resourceful, right? There's about 30 to 50 people on the call. I stay for about 2 hours, and then we leave the call open for anybody who wants to hang out afterwards and network. And then the third resource is private community access, which serves as essentially a 24/7 chat support. So, Mr. Boog, we'd love to have you inside. The sellers inside are crushing it, and I want to ship you one of these. This is just one of our trophies. This is the $500,000 a month trophy. So I'd love to get you one of these, or even the 100K, the 50K, because it's possible inside EsellersRI. Daniel said, I have a product that has a seller that has 95% of the sales. Should I keep selling it? It is FBM. Well, the first question I'd ask you, Daniel, is what percentage of the sales are you getting and how many units does that equate to? Right? Because if the one seller's getting 95% and you're getting the full other 5%, but the listing's moving 1,000 units a month, that's 50 units a month. I'm comfortable continuing to sell a product where I could move 50 units a month as long as it meets my minimum profit requirements. So yeah, it's really going to depend on how much inventory you're selling with that seller dominating 95% of the buy box. And if it's moving for you and the profits make sense, then absolutely keep selling it. Besides Amazon Lit, who are a few accounts you think provide some good insight? Scott Needham, smartest seller, dude's an OG. As far as like OA, you could go Flips for Miles. And yeah, those are the two I'd recommend. Private Label, Derek DeMayo, Jamie Davidson. Those are some people I suggest following. These are people who've been in the game for years and years and years. These are people I see at all the Amazon events. These are people who have large communities. They're thriving, right? And I personally like to surround myself with businesses and business owners that are thriving because there's always more to learn. There's always more to learn. The day I think I know it all is the day I stop growing. Yeah, absolutely, Mr. Book. Send me a DM. We'll be able to jump on a call and talk about it a little more exclusively. But yeah, so typically this time of year it's just a little slower, but that's okay. We take the summer months to focus on our internal systems to make sure everything's working properly, right? So when I'm talking internal systems, I'm making sure we have frameworks, right? Proper communication between our teams, that our buyers are trained properly, that our repricing, super important, that we're repricing our products, right? Accurately, so we're able to dominate the buy box and get a larger percentage of the buy box share. Because if your products aren't repriced properly, then it doesn't matter how much profitable inventory you send to Amazon. If it's not selling, it's not making you money. And if it's not making you money, your business isn't growing. It's $29.97, Dale. So I spent the past week up in Canada visiting some of our inner circle members' businesses. Visit two different companies, two different warehouses, two completely different operations. And one of the beautiful things I love about inner circle is I get an inside view directly to some of these companies and their biggest pain points. So it allows me to serve all of you at the highest level possible because I understand the ins and outs of different businesses and how they operate in different countries, right? And something that's a common theme in most businesses that I visit is a lack of understanding clear financial data from your company, right? Knowing exactly what your net profits are month over month, exactly what your average net profits are for every single ASIN that you sell, breaking down, right, your supplier health and analyzing the data to make sure you're analyzing customer returns, average profit per ASIN, net profit per ASIN, average sale price per ASIN. Like understanding all this data and breaking it down and seeing it visually in an Excel document. And this is something we're going to be covering at the event Ecom Summit out in Chicago at the beginning of August. Like understanding this data is just imperative to business growth, because something we learned maybe 4 or 5 years ago when we started breaking this information down, something we learned was we were continuing to purchase from suppliers that really weren't even making us any money after we analyzed like returns and stuff. We were dealing with a big beauty supplier and we bought a bunch of hair clippers and beard trimmers, high-end products. I'm talking Andis. I can't think of some of the other names, but we'll just use Andis as one of the example, right? Hair trimmers that sell purchase price anywhere from $100 to $200, sale price on Amazon anywhere from $150 to $300. And we were moving tons of inventory, selling hundreds of these a month, right? But when we took a step back and analyzed the data versus returns and lost money because of those returns, we really were operating at like a 1 or 2% net margin. And for the amount of money we were dumping into these Andis products to operate at a 1 or 2% net margin, it didn't make any sense. Didn't make any sense. So we stopped doing it. And we allocated those funds that we were investing in those Andis products and health and beauty products, we allocated those funds to more profitable inventory, which changed the game for us. Yeah, so no, we never did any online arbitrage, but in our early days, we were super heavy on retail arbitrage. That's how we built our business in year 1, 2, and the first portion of year 3. We were going super aggressive, Costco, Sam's Club, BJ's, and there's still a lot of opportunities at those clubs. And we went super aggressive on RA. You know, we were picking up multiple vanfuls, and then it switched to multiple truckloads a week, and we were packaging the inventory in Sebastian's uncle basement, Humble Ted, and we were shipping it out. What's the difference working with the brand or a distribution center? So a brand direct relationship usually comes with some sort of commitment from you, whether it's ad spend, listing optimization, projections. When you're working with a DC, a distribution center, or a distributor, typically there's a few things to consider. One, their prices are usually more competitive than going brand direct. Now, the reason why their prices are more competitive, you would think, why wouldn't it be cheaper from going brand direct versus purchasing from a distributor? Well, here's the math and the science behind it, right? If I go brand direct, I might purchase, let's say, 5 pallets of a couple SKUs from that brand, right? But these distributors are purchasing 5, 10 truckloads of those couple SKUs. So those brands have to give the distributors a much more competitive price so they're able to distribute that inventory across the country. So typically you'll see more competitive pricing going direct with wholesalers and distributors than you will going manufacturer or brand direct. Also, one of the biggest difference and one of the reasons why I love going directly to wholesalers and distributors is just the access to a larger catalog. When you're dealing with brands, you will only have access to the brand that they create, the brand that they manufacture, which limits your opportunity. But when you partner with a wholesaler or distributor, you have access to thousands, if not tens of thousands of different brands. So it really opens up a whole line of opportunity. And I'm actually starting a new series because through my distribution company, I get a lot of emails every single day, between 5 and 10 emails every single day. And me and Sebastian in Canada the other day, we were looking at these emails and they are hilarious. The emails that are sent to us, they're so ridiculous. People are using templates. Typically it's VAs who are sending us these emails, and people are using templates and they're not removing like the parentheses or the quotation marks, their first names in caps, their businesses in caps, their spacing in the email is ridiculous. Their vocabulary is terrible. It's like, and then people wonder why they're not opening any wholesale accounts. And it's like, have you reached out yourself, or are you using somebody from overseas to build these relationships? Because the emails I'm getting from these companies overseas and these virtual assistants that say we represent so and so company, the emails are trash, straight up trash. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The emails from the virtual assistants I receive in my wholesale company are literally a joke. And then people wonder why they can't open good wholesale accounts. It's like, and for example, someone messaged me the other day, hey, E, my VAs aren't open any good accounts. You got any suggestions? And the first question I asked them, I said, have you tried opening any of these accounts yourself? And what was the gentleman's answer? No, I haven't tried. So it's like, what? You're going to email me looking to solve your broken virtual assistant problem when you haven't even tried doing it yourself. So is it the case that your VAs are actually not finding profitable suppliers, or have you not trained them properly? And typically it's the latter. You have not trained them properly. So your unwillingness to take accountability for the pitfalls in your business are preventing you from continuing to grow. It's plain and simple, right? I'm a zero excuse type of guy. Take zero fucking excuses. I don't want to hear them, because there's literally a solution to every single problem if you're open to it. But it's going to take effort on your end. And that's what separates the people who crush it and the people who stay stagnant or see a decline in their business. In any industry, not just Amazon. Yeah, 16 aces is good for a first PO. It kind of spreads out your investment, gives you some opportunity. And then what you do is you'd send those to Amazon, and then you'd analyze the profitability and the sales movement, and you double down on the aces that worked and eliminate the ones that didn't, and add some new SKUs to your next order. So I think 16 aces, Leon, is a great start to your first purchase order. Tech news, I know you're in these calls every single week, but that would be a great question. I believe you're in EsellersRI. That'd be a great question for the EsellersRI private community, because I know we got a bunch of Canadian sellers in there that will be able to chime in and drop some knowledge about how they're getting LTLs from Canada to US. What should I do to avoid missed freight pickups, Amazon partnered carrier? So make sure you're available for the pickup. That's number one. Number two, you asked, and long check-in times, 2D box content labels. You know, and a lot of people will tell you that, hey, 2D, it doesn't affect the time that it takes Amazon to receive your inventory. But I completely disagree with that, because I've worked directly with companies who don't use 2D box content labels, and I've worked with companies in my own company that does use 2D box content labels. And just from the data that I see, 2D box content labels greatly increase the receive time of your inventory. Net. So this gentleman made 4 to 6 and 46,000 in revenue. What do I think would be a nice profit out of the $46,000 in revenue? I would say anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 would be substantial. All right, 5 on the low end, 15 on the higher end. Yeah, I hear you, Peerless. Snow Globe. She's 4 years into arbitrage and she's tired. I hear you. That's the reason why I made the transition to wholesale, because we were tired too. It's an exhausting process. I just got off the phone call at 9:30 a.m. with a gentleman up in Canada who's doing RA. Guy's working 6 days a week in his full-time job, and he's got 2 kids. And after work, after a 10 to 12 hour shift, he's going to retail stores and buying inventory. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. So it's important to start at least incorporating some wholesale. And that's why a lot of people join EsellersRI for the roadmap. You don't have to make the full transition overnight. It's probably going to take multiple months to make that transition, if not a full year to make that transition. But if you don't get started, the transition's never going to happen. So it's like important to take action immediately, unless you want to continue to live that day-to-day life of running a retail stores, and constant online arbitrage leads, which is time consuming, because you can purchase 5 of this, 10 of this, maybe 15 or 20 of that on like a super special day. But it's even hard to get that amount of quantity on a retail and arbitrage and online, or a retail arbitrage and online arbitrage business model. It's complicated. We got a lot of account health issues. How do you compete with sellers who use automated pricing or a repricer to beat your price? We have a repricer and automated pricing to combat their price drops and price movements within the Amazon listing. That's the solution. Get a repricer as well. Amazon has an automated repricer, which you can play around with. It will teach you a lot about repricing. You can set up rules and stuff, but we suggest using third-party repricers. For brand new sellers, Be Cool is great. For sellers doing less than $25,000, Go Aura is great. For sellers doing over $25,000 a month, we suggest using SellerSnap. And we have discounts for all of those inside of our community as well. Shout out to all you dads. Happy Father's Day. Yeah, absolutely. Stack or starve. That's one of the biggest problems that Amazon sellers face, is opening up distribution and wholesale accounts. So we give you the blueprint. I literally teach you every single method that I've used in my company to open up every single wholesale account I've ever opened. We give you templates, phone scripts, the whole nine. And then the purpose of the live weekly calls and the community support is to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. If you have any specific questions about a specific company that you're having trouble dealing with, opening an account with, requesting discounts with, communicating with, reporting discrepancies with, whatever the issue is, we're there to guide you. Yeah, I feel that 2D transparent, or not 2D transparency, 2D box content labels also help with the accuracy of the inventory being received, right? Because I don't know if you've ever visited a fulfillment center or a transfer center for Amazon, distribution center for Amazon, but what happens is your inventory gets received, right? And whether it's SPD, LTL, FTL, they start unloading it and scanning it. Now, if it doesn't have those 2D box content labels, what they're doing is opening all those boxes and scanning individual UPCs, right? Which is a tedious process. But if you got those 2D box content labels, they're just scanning the outside of the box and sending it to the truck that's going to Tennessee, sending it to the truck that's going to Nevada, sending it to the truck that's going to California. They're instantly spider webbing your inventory, which saves you on receive times. And the quicker you can get your inventory listed live on Amazon for sale, the quicker you're able to make a return on your investment for that purchase of inventory. So it's a no-brainer implementing 2D box content labels. It's literally a no-brainer. We're one of the first companies ever in Amazon to use 2D box content. We implemented them maybe, I want to say 2017, maybe 2018, and it's changed the game for us. And what a lot of people don't consider about 2D box content labels is the amount of time it saves you in your own packaging process. It's a game changer. What's up, D Manny? Yeah, OA is a process. Excited for you to get into wholesale. What kind of estimate sales requirement do you suggest looking for in the Canadian marketplace? So because Canadian marketplace is got a little lower, well, a lot lower, it's about 10% of the total sales volume in the States. We would buy typically anything that's moving at least 12 units for our company. So if we run the numbers, and this is based on your minimum buying requirements, right? Because if it's meeting your minimum buying requirements, then it checks off as a listing that we would purchase. But in the US, we do anything really 24, but when we started, we would do as low as 12. And if it was a high ticket item, we'd even go as low as 6 units per month. But the goal is to purchase enough inventory where you have enough SKUs out with available stock that you're able to capitalize on the buy box. Because what more ASINs available in your catalog does is allows you to win the buy box more frequently and increase your buy box share across the board for all your ASINs. So although you may have some products that you're not winning the buy box on, you have the other products that can make up that inventory. We do not do any manufacturing barcodes. We do all seller barcodes, and we highly advise against using manufacturer barcodes or commingled inventory, because Amazon's a nightmare. Because what they do is they take all the sellers who got commingled inventory, they put them in a bin, and when someone orders it, they ship it. And I don't trust the way other sellers operate their business. A lot of people do a lot of shady shit. They don't care about quality control, and that's not me. I only want the product that I labeled going to one of my customers at the end of the day. It's plain and simple. So we do not do any commingled manufacturer barcode inventory. It's just a rule of thumb for us. And if you have a listing that is only allowing manufacturer barcode, simply, if you don't have any stock and you never sent it in, simply delete that merchant SKU and recreate it. And in the recreation process, there'll be a drop down that says manufacturer barcode or seller. It's like seller SKU or seller barcode. Yeah, that's a great way to find distributors, is reaching out to the brands. Hey, Nikki. No problem, right? Is Amazon closing FBA accounts or just drop shipping accounts? So Amazon has closed a ton of drop shipping accounts in the past 6 to 9 months, literally thousands of them. But the beautiful thing about a pure FBA account that you've never drop shipped on is it's kind of complicated to get your account suspended. And as long as you're operating within terms of service and not navigating around it, doing any shady black hat shit, your account's pretty protected. And there's never been a company that's connected with us for an appeal, for an account suspension that's operated within terms that we haven't been able to get back. That's how it works. When you do ship by the book, Amazon recognizes it and rewards you. So it's pretty straightforward. Don't do anything shady and your account will be protected. Now, there's always those one-off scenarios where people possibly haven't done anything shady, but in one day they get a bunch of IP complaints and that's it for them. And there's really no way to predict that other than analyzing the data on the Amazon listings. And it's interesting because everybody who has their account suspended, in the immediate first conversation we have with them, they always tell us that they didn't do anything wrong. They don't know what they did. They operate by the book. And then once we get on the phone call with them, it starts to unravel. Right? It's, yeah, well, I bought this from like an eBay seller. And it's like, what? Like, why didn't you say that from the beginning? We're like the person who's getting your account reinstated. That's like lying to your lawyer. It just doesn't make logical sense. Yeah, I recommend 2D regardless of how you sell your inventory, send your inventory. 2D box content. Do you think I should start with a warehouse or a retail store? There's so many questions I have before I can answer that. The one and only. Like, have you started at all? Because if you haven't started at all, you don't want to start with either of those, warehouse or a retail store. And are you asking if you should like rent a warehouse or get a retail store? I got so many questions there. I need a little more information. Yeah, no problem. Beginners, I suggest getting into really any category that improves to selling. So just start scanning things into your sellers app or on Seller Central and following the prompts all the way through. Click request approval. You may get some auto approvals and auto ungates. You may have to submit invoicing for others, but the goal is to just keep requesting approval until you get some products that you send to Amazon. Right? So regardless of the category, it could be patio, it could be toys, it could be grocery, it could be health and household, it could be industrial and scientific, could be baby, could be pet supply. Just try to get approval for as many, especially initially, as many as you can possibly. And on Instagram a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, I posted maybe a video with like 7 to 10 different companies where their invoices will work for ungating, and they have very low MOQs. What do you think of product list analyzing tools and apps? I like them. We use them in our business. I think the best one, which unfortunately isn't on the market yet, it's only available for Inner Circle, is Source Correct. That's our own proprietary software that my business partner Sebastian developed. It's definitely the most powerful UPC scraper and sourcing tool on, or really off the market, but somewhat on the market because about 40 people are using it right now. So it's a game changer. But second to that would be like Scan Unlimited, Tactical Arbitrage. But here's the thing. Most people, oh, it's choppy there on YouTube. Are we back? Let me check my internet connection. Are we back? Let me know if we're good over here. It's fine now. Great. Thank you. I forgot what I was talking about. I lost my train of thought. What was the question? Oh, so here's the common misconception is that a UPC scraper like Scan Unlimited, Tactical Arbitrage, even Source Correct, it's going to do all the work for you. It's common misconception. It's not. It's not, because all it's doing is scraping UPCs versus Amazon's backend catalog. What it's not doing is title searches, right? What it's not doing is searching for pack sizes that aren't connected to the OG UPC that you're missing out on. So if you're just using UPC scrapers to leverage business growth, you're doing it completely wrong. It's a tool, it's a resource. It's not an end all be all solution. You get Source Correct at all 4 levels of Inner Circle. You just get different plans. So for like Brain Trust, you get 3 months of Source Correct. M Club, you get 6 months of Source Correct. High Society, you get a year of Source Correct. So it depends, right? And the way, even when we do drop Source Correct to the public, maybe I don't know, 8 to 12 months from now, Inner Circle will always have first access to any new features. That's just how it is, right? We reward the businesses that invest in themselves and invest in our guidance. So they'll always be ahead of the curve. Inner Circle businesses will always be growing faster than everybody else because they have a direct source to me and Sebastian, who our business continues to grow. Awesome. Thanks, Tech News. I forgot your first name, by the way, man. I'm going to write it down and not forget it. Now it's breaking up really bad. I have no idea why. Hello. Hello, hello. Yeah, it's not that easy, though. Give me 1 second here. Oh, restart the stream. I thought you meant restart my stream. I was like, I got to schedule a whole new live. Restart your stream. Awesome. Great advice, Tech News. Shirley, what's up? How did you do your first year on Amazon? We did about $1 million our first year on Amazon. Solely Costco, BJ, Sam's Club. Second year was probably 5. Third year was probably 12 to 15. Fourth year, we were pumping out 25 million. Year 5 was like 30. Year 6 was when COVID happened. We went from 30 to 50. And ever since then, we've been growing about 20% year over year. So it was like 50 year 6, maybe 60 year 7. And we're probably going to crush about 70 to 75 this year. So it's all about growth for me. If you spend 10K, you're looking at, for wholesale directly, you're looking at about a 35% ROI, 15 to 20% gross margins. Lucho, what's up, brother? Joe, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. What else we got here? You got me for a couple more minutes, my friends. We have a Canada company. Is it possible to get goods from U.S. brands with Canadian company? Yes, it's possible. Absolutely. Yeah, Sam's Club, Costco alone made us over $1 million in revenue in year 1. In the beginning, no, we were not buying pallets directly. We were going in and scanning units and putting them on those carts and checking out. But by the end of year 1, we were buying pallets directly off the floor. 100%. We had to. There's just no way we could scale that quickly buying, 5 and 10s of this. It's a hustle, guys and girls. And I don't have to explain it to you. If you're in the middle of it right now, you understand. You understand. It's a grind. So I have a 300 square foot shop, made 46K in revenue within 4 months. That's huge, one and only. It's massive. So you're looking at about 15K a month. Still a lot of room for growth, though. A lot of room for growth, even in that little 300 square foot space, as long as you're optimizing it. The goal would be to operate out of there until you hit your apex. Right? This is something we talk a lot about in Inner Circles, the apex of your company. It's essentially the top. If you draw a parabola, which is like a kind of a half circle upside down, at the top of it's the apex. So the apex is when you start seeing diminishing returns, right? So every employee you hire are actually making less money because the diminishing returns comes from your lack of available space to move efficiently within your workspace. So like once you hit that apex, you're screwed. The more you do, the less you make. So the goal is to invest in a new space before you hit that apex. You heard? Someone the other day commented on the last live I did like 2 weeks ago, and I guess I'm just from New Jersey, so I don't hear it, but You know, I welcome everybody. Like, what's up? Welcome to the channel. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, we got Miami in the house. And this guy, he commented like, this dude, I'm not listening to him. He's a jokester. And I was just like, yeah, good luck finding this information somewhere else. Good luck, buddy. It doesn't really exist many other places. Doesn't really exist many other places. I just spoke to someone the other day who has a community of wholesale business owners, about 1,000 people. And dude's never broken down a pallet, which is just mind blowing, right? So it's like you got to just be mindful of the people you're learning from. That's the number one thing. Like I personally don't want to learn from someone who's never broken down a pallet before. Send to Amazon. It's probably not the right person to learn FBA wholesale from. But to each his own. That's why the typical person who joins our community has already spent $4,000 to $5,000 on mentorships. Yeah, that's the purpose. You just ask your question. You don't have to ask if you can ask a question. It's a live Q&A. One and only. Yeah, in a nutshell, Amazon collects the tax on your behalf. I know you shouldn't be remitting tax for those transactions. Amazon remits it for you, but I always encourage you to consult with a CPA from your state because I'm not a tax professional. You know, I try to stay away from tax advice as frequently as possible. Damn, Anthony, you're going heavy trying to be in this video, but you don't even have a profile picture. So it's a no for me, dog. Yeah, I agree. MM just said the amount of value in these live calls is insane. The private Monday calls are even better. Imagine what the inner circle calls are like. Fucking next level. That's the goal for us. I love it. I love it, Brandon. I'm glad you're here, man. Glad you're here. Damn, Anthony, you're going super aggressive. It's like 10 requests in a row. You're requesting, unrequesting. Let me look you up real quick on my phone. See what information I can bring in here. What is it, Anthony? Yeah, man. Account's private, no profile pic. I'm sorry, bro. I can't let you in here. Yeah, Beauty said she worked with an Amazon coach that didn't know what a BSR was. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what you're talking about, fast Carnus scars. Yeah, I'll be there. I'm speaking at that conference, Joe. Yeah, absolutely, Shamari. Happy Father's Day to you, my friend, and to all the other dads in here. So for my dad, I don't know. What do you get a guy? My father's 70 years old. He's got literally everything he can ask for. He's a grown-ass man. He just buys what he wants. He just went to Mexico a couple weeks ago to do a fishing trip with his buddies. He was in Costa Rica a few months earlier, fishing trip with his buddies. So it's like I was talking to my brother, and we're like, what do we buy, Dad? And I was like, we don't buy Dad anything. We just give him a couple $1,000 and let him buy whatever he wants to buy. Dude's grown-ass man, right? I'm not going to decide what he gets for Father's Day. Just give him cash and let him figure it out. Whatever he wants to use it for, he can fucking buy himself a new vacation, whatever. But I don't want to be responsible for buying him something, you know? So we're just going to give him a couple $1,000. Happy Father's Day. Thanks for being a great dad. Go get what you want. Enjoy yourself. Yeah, Absolutely. So that's a great question. So Mr. That Feel Good says, is in-store sourcing the best for beginning to scale with minimal capital? Absolutely. In-store sourcing through RA and online sourcing through OA would be the best to start, because realistically, you can start with a couple $100. And the education you're going to receive through that couple $100 investment is going to be priceless. It's really going to set the foundation for your growth. Oh, family portrait. I got this dope, Shamari. I got this. Someone actually sent it to me on Instagram. They sent it to my PO box. And it's like me, it's my face, it's a drawing, and it's like me in like this 19 or I don't know, 1600 like army gear. It's just crazy. It's ridiculous. I'll post a picture of it on Instagram, but it's hilarious. So I should get one of those made, but a family portrait of the four of us. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go see him. I'm gonna go down to my father's tonight and my mom. So I'm gonna finish up this call. I'm gonna slide downstairs to the gym, work on my physical health. Then I'm gonna come up here, take a shower, stop at a CVS, pick up a card, throw the cash in it, and go. I'm picking up desserts. My brother's picking up dinner. You know, my dad, he's been a chef he's no longer a chef, but for when I was a kid until I was like maybe 12 or 13, he worked in a Spanish restaurant. Um, Not Latin Spanish, like Spain Spanish. And he's a phenomenal chef, phenomenal. So typically when we get together, he always whips up these extravagant meals. And I was talking to him on the phone last night, and I was like, Dad, you don't cook anything, man. He's like, no, I'm not cooking nothing. Um, no plans for conferences in the UK. But what I can tell you is, as soon as we get a seller from the UK in the inner circle, we'll be on the UK hosting an event there. I just need a reason to go over there. So if you're a seller doing 7 figures plus annually and you live in the UK and you're ready to join Inner Circle, send me a DM. We'll get you set up, and then we'll come out to your warehouse or your space, help you optimize it, train your team, whatever the case may be, and then we'll plan an event right around that. So right now, Inner Circle has 2 countries, or 3 countries: Colombia, US, and Canada. Yeah. Inner Circle accommodates sellers from all over the world. Like I just said, we got a couple companies in Colombia, Canada, and the US. So we work with anybody who's willing to grow. That's the name of the game. Um, Submit the credit application. So the company you're trying to open an account with asks you to fill out a credit application. The best way to get approved is to fill out that credit application. All right, my friends, listen, I got to go hit the gym, hop in the shower, go see my pops. Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. Have a beautiful weekend. Also, tomorrow on the live coaching call for EsellersRI, collectively, we're going to be deciding what hotel we're all going to be staying at ASD. So make sure you pop onto that live call tomorrow, because there's a few events coming up right around the pipeline. ASD is about 60 days out. So I'll check everybody on tomorrow's live call for all you ERI members. Everybody else, we'll check you on the flip side, hopefully next Sunday. Have a beautiful day. Stay grateful and stay lit, my friends. Adios.